Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to look at the city of Aledo and why so many North Texans are deciding to call it home. That's just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I got to Dallas in 1992, and as a reporter for Fox 4, I had a chance to go visit cities all over North Texas. And I remember one of those little teeny towns that I was visiting in the early 90s, Aledo, Texas, has really gotten to be a fairly large size area. To talk about that today, Kit Marshall. She is an advocate for the city of Aledo. Thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. I'm excited to be here, and I truly am an advocate for the city of Aledo.
I love that. And I love your pink. You're representing Aledo proud today. Let's talk about Aledo. So how long have you lived in Aledo?
A number of decades.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so your earliest memories of Aledo, it was never like a one light town. It wasn't.
Oh, it had no lights.
It had no lights.
When we moved to
kidding.
Aledo. That is correct. And it was a 2-lane highway.
Wow.
One way in and one way out. And so, and the railroad went through the middle of it.
Wow.
Yes. So.
And today, what's the greater Aledo area?
The greater Aledo area, well, if you look about the school district, it's about 132 square miles, whereas the footprint for the city of Aledo today is still about 2.6 square miles. But we have some ETJ that looks like is going to be coming in from the city of Fort Worth. So.
Nice. And I want you to know that Kit is so passionate about Aledo that she ran for mayor and served as mayor for how many years?
16 years.
16 years.
16 years.
And that's passionate. I mean, that you're the person who I'm imagining would still get the phone calls about their trash not getting picked up. And so, is that true? I mean, that happens, right?
It does happen. It also happened like, when is the electricity going to come back on during that long week of snow, ice, and...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you really have to... People think about being the mayor of a small town, and they think about, that must be glamorous, and it's really more of a give back, isn't it? I mean, it takes up a lot of your time, and I imagine as the mayor, if you got a small salary, it was very small. She's laughing. Did you get a salary?
That would be a big no.
Okay. So
now, there were people who thought they were paying my salary and made sure that I knew they thought that, but I assured them that that check was MIA, and I was going to talk to the council about what happened to it, actually to staff.
Which I think is just a tribute to anybody in public service, because in many of the towns across North Texas, the mayor and the city council don't make a dime. We found a great video as we were preparing for the show. Let's go ahead and roll that now.
Just to the west of Fort Worth lies the rolling hills and ever-growing town of Aledo. Once a place to escape to the country, Aledo still remains a place of grazing cattle and large home lots, but it's also a thriving town in its own right.
Boasting one of DFW's favorite school districts and a strong sense of community pride, Aledo continues to attract people from all over Fort Worth and the surrounding regions who long for wider skies and a little more elbow room. The heart of Aledo is found in Aledo High School and Bearcat Stadium, where much of the town gathers to watch this highly competitive football team battle opponents on the field.
Just a little further down 1187, you'll find the growing downtown district where investors have begun to create spaces where local businesses, restaurants, and retail can thrive.
With an extensive park system and 80 acres of natural space, the Parks of Aledo offers both a strong sense of community and easy access to nature. The neighborhood also boasts a 9-hole disc golf course, a playground, dog park, and a community garden.
Bella Flora is another neighborhood belonging to Aledo ISD. This neighborhood is guarded and gated and offers homes all situated on at least 1 acre of land. With 3 ponds, a lovely park, and even lakefront views from some of the properties, Bella Flora is a perennial favorite.
Still further west, you will find the towns of Aneta, Aneta South, Aneta North, that all offer their own beautiful homes and amenities and are also all part of Aledo ISD. The Walsh development is definitely not to be missed. Offering all the benefits of a carefully planned community with 2,300 acres of green space, this newer, large-scale development boasts too many amenities to list, including its own elementary school and a community maker space.
Whether you're hoping to get closer to nature or closer to your neighbors, the thriving Aledo community offers something for everyone. Aledo remains one of Fort Worth's favorite neighbors and a pretty fantastic place to live.
That was such a well done video, and I know you didn't have anything to do with that, but I'm watching that video and I'm like, I want to move to that town. so
It's a great place to be.
So, Kit, you served as mayor for 16 years. What are some of your proudest accomplishments?
There are quite a few, but the one that really resonates, of course, is that beautiful water tower, the storage tower, and that was working with the city of Fort Worth, and it took a lot of time. I know our council struggled over the decisions that they needed to make because we had options, and that one has served us well. And so I'm excited about that. And then honestly, the one of the other things is helping Parks of Aledo to come to Aledo, and getting to work with Jim Harris and his group was just phenomenal. And as they have developed each phase, it was an incredible development to work with. And so I'm really excited about that. And honestly, widening of 1187 from that 2-lane street or road, highway, to the 4-lane divided highway. And so they're not finished with it yet, but just what a difference that has made.
Sure.
And then I think to round out my 20 years as an elected official there was working with the city of Fort Worth, and this never happens, but the property owner of the ranch that borders the city on the east had called me and said, because of our relationship, we want you to know that we're selling it. And I said to myself, if they're selling it, he's not going to care whose ETJ this is in. Would you consider working with us so that we can have control over the commercial or whatever happens on the east side of 1187 into our entryway? And so, long story short, the council, I got to work with Betsy Price and her staff on that. And then the council for Aledo and the city of Fort Worth both had to agree to that. And they did, and so that to me was just one of those amazing things that never happens, but it did.
Well, congratulations, and I think it you have to have a firm hand on the wheel to steer a community in the right direction, along with the help of the council, and not lose the small town feel. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Yeah. That was always really important because I had lived there since it was a small community, and it's important that you maintain the values and that sense of community and caring, and working with the school district, of course, is huge there, and quite honestly, that's why people want to move to that great city of Aledo.
Absolutely.
And the surrounding community as well. All of East Parker County is really a great place to live.
Well, and as long as we're talking about public service, you should also know that Kit ran for state representative.
I did.
And we've got some pictures we want to put up on the screen. I love this one. Okay, so is this the ice cream truck?
That is the ice cream truck, yes. We had a great time. That was actually an afternoon in Parks of Aledo.
I think that is so cool. And so you out on the campaign trail. So tell us about the race. What were some of the things that you enjoyed most? I imagine, meeting people.
That's absolutely correct. I'm a people person, and so visiting with others advocating for, what I consider to be the right things. Was huge. And so getting to meet a lot of very interesting people that I had not met before, because now I'm campaigning across 3 counties, not just within a 2.5 square mile, community. And so public speaking has never been an issue for me. Okay, well, it was maybe when I was in school, but as an adult, I enjoy teaching and training and presenting and just advocating. So that was something that I really enjoyed. Was I nervous? Well, let me think about, yes, actually I was. I didn't have to think about that too much, but yeah, so that was, and really quite honestly meeting some of the other candidates for a lot of the other races as well, because we were all in candidate forums together. So I enjoyed it from start to finish.
And you had a great platform. Let's go ahead and roll that video.
I'm Kit Marshall, and my experience makes me more uniquely qualified than any other candidate in the race for State House District 60. I believe that we need to bring better balance between property tax and sales tax. Every time the legislature meets, there are discussions about reforming or restricting the property valuations created through the Central Tax Authority. I want to be there for you to effect change and bring balance. I encourage parental involvement in the education of their kids in schools, and I support a parental bill of rights. I support police, fire, EMS, and emergency managers. I oppose any legislation that would restrict their ability to do their job. I know Parker County. I have spent years building meaningful relationships with the Council of Governments and TxDOT. It's these meaningful relationships that are going to help solve the transportation challenges across District 60. I appreciate all the endorsements I've received. I'm Kit Marshall, and I need your support for State House District 60.
Yes, I know you're very proud of the race that you ran, and then you were fortunate enough to be able to throw your support to the person who ended up winning.
I was. So I am known for doing my homework. I don't take things just at face value. I want to know the truth. And so I did a lot of research on both candidates who were in that runoff. And I did throw my support behind Glenn Rogers, and he is our representative. I'm so proud of him, and I really appreciate the decisions that he's making. And he embraces those of us who live in his district. And when I say that, I mean, he really cares about what impacts us, and he listens. I'm so impressed with him every time I have the opportunity to visit with him, and I consider him a friend. So I'm just so grateful that he's where he is, and I had a lifetime memory.
That's beautiful. Okay, so in the little time we have left, talk to the viewer about why they might want to come visit Aledo, or even consider calling Aledo home.
Aledo is a great community. It still embraces that sense of community. And when I say sense of community, I'm talking about caring about each other. And sometimes social media kind of gets in the way of that. But I just have watched over and over again that as people have life experiences that are devastating or could be devastating, the community rallies around them. And whether it's a fundraiser or to bring a meal, or, when I lost my mom, people, came out of the woodworks and just were there to help support. And that's what I find. And certainly there are organizations, nonprofits that are there to help support the community, and that's one of the things that makes it really special. And then, quite honestly, the vista. I mean, you come off of the hill there from I-20, and the view, and that's really what my mother fell in love with, and why we moved to Aledo to begin with. And so, again, people are moving there primarily for the school district, and it is an exceptional school district. In fact, my mother was a teacher there. Wow. So I have, a heartstrings for the school district, but the community as well, because I have watched it grow and mature. And I hope that we never lose that sense of community, regardless of how big we get.
Kit, that's a great way to end this segment, and thank you for your life of service. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. This has been fun. I really appreciate it.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.